What's going on, everybody? It's your friend Will. We are back, and who knows how long we'll be back for under these quarantine times. But I figured, I have a little extra time. I have a game I like to play, maybe do some more videos. And I know I built this channel a little over a year ago on Magic, so a lot of people who are seeing this stuff maybe don't know the game I'm playing currently, Teamfight Tactics, which is the League of Legends auto chess game. So I thought, rather than record another ranked game that might be meaningless to people, I will do a quick kind of overview video of how Teamfight Tactics works. So we're going to play a normal game so I can spend more time talking about the actual systems and the strategies and not have to worry about hurting my LP, where I climbed a Diamond 2 yesterday after the video I recorded. Probably one of the better days I've ever had playing the game. I had 4 first place finishes in a row, which is insane because if you notice, there is a fair amount of randomness to this game, which can be pretty hard to get used to. Even coming from a game like Magic, where we bemoan the randomness sometimes of the draw, of the starting hands, of mulligans, oh, my opponent topped it and got lucky. This kind of takes that and serves it to you all the time. So let me let's do that. Okay, great. So yeah, as you can see, we're playing 8 players, and the rewards you get, or the amount of rating you get, adjust based on how high you finish. So if you finish in the top 4, you are technically a winner. The higher you finish, the more ranking you will receive. The lower you finish, the more ranking you will lose. The beginning of the game, we're all running around this carousel picking a champion. I'm not taking too much attention to what I'm picking here. But you get both a champion and you get an item on the champion. So yeah, like I said, this is an auto chess game. I'm going to ignore this golden question mark for now. We're going to come back to it in a second. But the idea is that over many rounds of play, you'll accumulate gold, which you'll use to level yourself up and to buy more champions. And then every few rounds, you'll be playing what we call creep rounds. So we're doing that right now, fighting against monsters, not other players, that will drop you gold or items, both. So here we got another item. So our starting champion here, Twisted Fate, had an armor. We got another armor. We're going to sell him now to get the armor off of him because it's not a good item on him. And let's buy some units. We have 3 gold to spend. So let's buy Leona, Fiora, Graves. In these early rounds, the monsters are so easy to defeat, it's pretty trivial what you put in. So yeah, this golden question mark, let's address this now so I can get it off the screen. In this set, Galaxies, which is set 3 of the game, you have a 45% chance of the game being taking place in a different quote-unquote galaxy. So we are in the Nico-verse this time, where we get to start the game with 2 Nico's help. These are essentially wild cards. You can drag them onto a champion to make another copy of it. But why is that good? Because if you get a 3 of a kind of a champion, like right here we have a pair of Fioras, it'll level them up. And you can see here that Fiora's ability Riposte does 200 damage at level 1, which she is now. But if you level her up, it'll do 300 damage, and if you level her up a 3rd time, it'll do 450. So champions scale in power based on how many of them you find. So there we go. There's a little bit of that randomness we talked about. But having these Nico's help is amazing. Like, we could make this a level 2 right now, but more likely what we're going to do is save those for later in the game, for when we find some more powerful units that are harder to level up because they're more expensive and because the drop rate is lower. So we're through the creep rounds. We're going to start playing against players, but I'm not going to sweat it too much again right now because we're still kind of just talking about how the game works. So yeah, every round you also get dealt a new kind of pack to pick from. Our goal is still limited. It's early in the game, so we can only buy 1 or 2 things. You have your bench and you have your active board. So here's our opponent. And now this is the first time we're playing against another player. And the game just plays out. I don't have to do anything right here. They're just going to battle each other. And the preset rules of the game determine who wins or loses. Looks like I'm going to win. which is good. So we should talk a little bit. Let's use this as a moment to transition to talking about gold and the economy of the game, which is probably one of the most important things. So my gold is down here. Oh, look, here we go. So the game is pretty good about telling you that I have a Graves in play, a Graves on my bench, and I have the option to buy one. I'll buy it, and he levels up. So now his ability does 200 damage, in addition to all the other attacks it has there. So every round you get passive income, which is guaranteed money, and this will scale up to 5 gold a round fairly soon. Everyone gets that. You get interest, which is a really key thing to growing your economy. So if you have 10 gold, you get a +1 gold interest. If you have 20 gold, you get +2 gold interest. Same thing, 33, 44, up to a max of 5 at 50. So when your passive income is 5 and your interest is at 5 because you're over 50 gold, then you're getting 10 gold around. You also get gold for win and loss streaks. So we won the first one, but we lost the second one here. So we're not streaking, right? But if we had lost or won 2 in a row, we would get an extra gold for that. And likewise, if you do 3 in a row, +2 gold, 4 in a row, +3 gold. So this gives you a way to lose early. Suppose that you get dealt really bad units, you don't really have much in the way of a viable team, then you can at least say, okay, I'm going to try to intentionally lose and build up my gold that way. So I should say that units are not just, units can be abstractly strong by themselves, but the other thing that you're looking for is what's going on over here on the side of the screen. So these are the synergies of the individual units. So every unit has 2 to 3 types. So kind of similar to typing in Magic, right? You can be an elf warrior, and sometimes cards care about whether or not you have elves or warriors or goblins in play, right? Well, each synergy does something if you hit a certain threshold. For example, blasters, every 4th basic attack, the blasters will basically fork their attacks to attack most or all of the units on the board, and this scales up. So if you have 2 blasters in play like I do right now, it attacks 3 additional units. If you have 4 blasters in play, it attacks 6 additional units. So oh yeah, we hit another carousel round. So we do kind of like a snake draft here. So since I was at the bottom end, I got an earlier pick. I got to go run and take an item and a unit. So pretty often when you're looking at these carousels, it's pretty unlikely that you're going to get an option to take a unit that you want with an item that you want. So you're usually looking just to take the item that you want, and then you're going to sell the unit to get the item off of it. Once you put items on a unit, you can't just drag them off. You have to sell the unit to remove them. So you want to be really careful not to put items onto units that you're not sure you want them to have. So take a Leona here. So now we have 2 Leonas. I'll take another Shen. Now we have a pair of Shens. We're going to try to build towards a late game comp called Cybernetics. Since we have a level 2 Leona already, she's a Cybernetic. We'll sell him. Why are we going to sell him? We're at 8 gold. He sells for 2 gold. Now this is going to put us at 10, and you can see our interest will now be 1. So we're guaranteeing ourselves a little more gold at the end of this round. Graves is a unit that I'm probably not going to use in my late game comp because I'm trying to get to 6 Cybernetics. So he's actually a good unit to put some items on early in the game because I know I'm going to sell him. So if I want a little more power, maybe I'm going for a win streak, I can put some items on the unit that's going to be just like kind of a transition unit like him. So I'm going to do that this round now. Oh, look at this. We're kind of getting some good luck here. So we've leveled up some of the ones that we want for a later game. So I'm going to put this armor on Graves, and I'm going to put this belt on him. So when you put 2 items on a unit, they combine. So you can see here I'm hovering over. Giant's belt is just 200 health, which is fine, but not amazing. By combining it with the armor, it becomes red buff, so it gives both the 25 armor from the armor, 200 health from the belt, plus this ability that all your attacks burn. It's very good with blasters, where every 4th attack, now you can see all of them are burning, because his 4th attack just hit everybody. Now they are all burning for 27% of their health, and their healing is reduced. So this could maybe change the course of the battle. It's going to be very close. And oops, it's going to be very close, but I think the Burning's going to get it here for us. So that was a very close win. That was awesome. Time for another creep round. So here we already have our Leona leveled up. Here's another one. But the problem is it takes like 3 Leonas to get to the level 2, but 9 total Leonas to get to the next one, because you need to make another level 2 and then another level 2. Combine 3 level 2 Leonas to get the level 3 Leona. So it's not really worth it early on. Or, I mean, it's not really worth it very often to try to go for a 3-star unit. Of course, there are exceptions to that, which we can talk about a little bit later. But I'm not going to do it right now, because it's just kind of a waste of gold. Oh, we got another Nico's Hell. So our late game is going to be very good. We're going to get some units and we're going to level them up very quickly. So very quickly here, boom, boom. I'm selling to get above 30 gold because I want to lock in that extra income. So now I have interest 3. We're trying to get our way to 50. And then once we get to 50, we are going to start locking in our comp and leveling up to hit the units we want. So that's something we haven't talked about, is that over here you can see your level down here. We're level 4. You gain 2 experience a turn. So we're at 8 out of 10. So after this round, we're going to level up again. Go to level 5. You can have units in play equal to your level. So as you level up, you can add more units to the board. So that's how we're going to get to 6 cybernetics this game. You have to be at least level 6 to hit it. But the other thing is that you can see here, this unit's green, this unit's blue. This one's green because it costs 2. This one's blue because it costs 3. There's purple units that cost 4, and then gold units that cost 5. But you can see the little probability chart here. It's telling me that I have a 50% chance to get dealt a 1-cost unit, 35% chance to get dealt a 2-cost unit, 15% chance to get dealt a 3-cost unit. You don't have to have these memorized. The game, it's a nice job of surfacing that information for you. As you level up, these probabilities will distribute differently. And so as we go to level 5, level 6, level 7, we're going to unlock higher chances to get these more powerful, more costly units. So that's the other reason we're trying to get to 50 gold. Oh, here's another cybernetic that we want. Boom. So let's take a look at the cybernetic bonus. Cybernetics encourage you to spread your items around instead of stacking them. So a lot of good comps will pick 1 or 2 units and stack them with as many items as possible. The item cap is 3 completed items, so 6 components. But for cybernetics, your units get a health bonus and attack damage bonus just by holding 1 item. So in essence, it makes that 1 item far, far stronger for them. But what we're actually going to do is continue to stack our graves here, so we can get our win streak, keep our win streak, because we're very close. So I gave him Guardian Angel, gives him armor and damage, and lets him come back to life after the first time he dies. Now we just broke 50 gold, so we're making as much money as we can possibly make here, unless our win streak expands to 4. So I made that item. I know I'm probably going to use that item later. It's a very good item overall. We have 64 gold. And what we're going to do, this is just... we're going to go for a strategy that's called like Fast 7 or Fast 8. So we can buy experience for 4 gold, because we don't really care about having 60. We don't get bonus income, right? We don't get more interest. Our interest is capped at 5 and 50. So we're going to spend down 2, 3, 52. I don't want to go to 48 because then I'll go below the interest breakpoint. And I just bought 12 experience, so I'm pushing myself up to level 6. And then I'll push myself up to level 7. And we're going to do this, and we're going to hopefully be able to keep our win streak while we do it, and hopefully find some more units along the way that we want for our comp. So you can mouse over. You can see we have 3 of them. We have Fiora, Leona, and Lucian. Looks like we're going to keep our win streak here, which is awesome. Thanks to that red buff, thanks to that Guardian Angel. We're looking for Vi, who's a 3-cost unit. We haven't seen very many of those yet. Aurelia, who's a 4-cost unit, and Echo, who's a 5-cost unit. So getting that 6 one's going to be tough. We're going to have to level up quite a bit. And here's another round. Now look at this. Here's an Aurelia right here. You're not going to know this right off the bat. It helps to play League of Legends a little bit, but really think of it more like learning a new magic set. You just got to kind of learn the cards, right? So I've learned the cards. I know that was Aurelia. Someone else took it. I'm doing better now. Ooh. Yes, okay. So I just want that sword because I want more items for Aurelia. we're going to probably look to stack Aurelia and then spread our remaining items around to other units to get to use that cybernetic bonus. So yeah, there is kind of like a tier list pick order for these items that you can learn over time. All right, 2-star Shen is good. We're going to put him in the comp eventually. Not yet. Actually, we will put him in now because we're going to level. Now Shen goes in, and now we hit Chrono. So Shen is a Blade Master Chrono. Ezreal is a Chrono Blaster. So even though Ezreal is not a cybernetic, we're probably going to keep him in the comp because of the Chrono thing. And Chrono is just a nice little bonus. When you have 2 of them, you get every 4 seconds, just your whole team gets 15% more attack speed. So that's a really good bonus just for 2. You don't really often see teams looking to push that to the 4 or 6 unit bonus, because the first one's just such a nice to have. So we're going to sell this Wukong, get the sword off of him, and while this battle plays out, we're going to buy our experience. Again, buying down to just above 50. You can only buy in chunks of 4. And we won again, so we're continuing our win streak. You can see now we have 5 wins in a row. So we're getting that maximum of plus 3 gold. We're getting our maximum interest of 5, and we're getting our passive income. So we're getting 13 gold a turn. And you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I have these 5 crystals that shows that I have like 50 gold in the bank. Our opponent here has 2, so they're not really managing their economy. This is one of the key things that's kind of like the difference between a new player and a more experienced player is like who's managing their economy, who's planning for the late game. And very likely what they're doing to not manage their economy is they're using this button called refresh, which we have not talked about yet. So this pack you get dealt every round. You can always refresh it at the cost of 2 gold. So a lot of players will be like, oh my god, I have to level up my unit, I have to level up my unit. And they'll click this and click this and click this in there when they're level 4, level 5. Try to level up stuff because they feel like they have to win now. But again, this game is like, in some ways, like Magic. Your life is a resource, right? Like your life, what would a control player say in Magic? That your life doesn't matter until you're on 1, right? Like that's the kind of, all right, so here's someone who's rolled a lot of gold. They've only got 20 in the bank. They beat us. That's going to happen, right? They've got way more gold on board and gold invested in their units than we do. So unfortunate that we lost our win streak here, but we're not going to feel bad, right? We still have 73 life. You can see we're in 3rd place of life. We have a really strong economy going. And clearly our team is strong enough in general because we're winning rounds. We're just going to put this in because we're leveled up to 7. Just to have something in for this round. Got some experience. And again, these rounds are super trivial. It's pretty hard to lose these. Get to go pick up all our toys. We can talk about positioning a little more later in the game. But yeah, positioning matters, right? You have units that are ranged, that are damage dealers. You've got units that are melee. Maybe they're damage dealers, maybe they're tanks. Generally, you want to position your melee units, your tanky units up front, and your damage dealers in the back. There are exceptions. There are units that are like assassins that will jump from back to back, so they can go right onto your damage dealers. That's all stuff that you kind of have to learn, right? Like I think positioning is going to be the hardest thing to talk about in these videos. Without context. There's no hard rules for how to position. Different comps want to be positioned differently. Some encourage you to clump them together, like Rebels. The Rebel trait gives bonuses based on adjacency, right? So you want to clump together, but clumping together is not good if you're going up against a comp that is has a lot of area of effect kind of damage, right? So there's a lot of like instances where you want to group your units, or you want to spread them, or you want to like put 2 next to each other here and 2 next to each other here. That's all kind of like minutia, right? We're not really trying to talk about that stuff. We're just trying to talk about how this game even works, because this is when I first came to this genre, I felt so lost. This type of game felt so foreign to me. It felt like a dang slot machine. Like, how are people winning? Why do I keep losing? What's going on? So I'm just trying to convey some of the basic stuff here of like how these units even work, what we're trying to do, and then I think most importantly, the economy. Because if there's one thing that this is the one thing that you can really be in control of, is like not panicking, not getting worried when you're taking damage, sticking to a plan, we're playing unranked, right? So I don't think a lot of people are going to manage their economy here. So again, here we see this person has 0, or they have, at least we know they have less than 10 gold in the bank right now. So they are making 5 less gold than us a turn at a minimum. They're probably win streaking. Yes, you can see that their little icon over here is on fire, so they are win streaking. But all right, here's Aurelia. So we're getting really close now. This is a good time to sell the Graves, because Aurelia is going to be one of the units that we want to have items. So give her the GA for now. Guardian Angel. Buy a second Ezreal. And you can see we're at 5 cybernetics. We're so close, but we're only at a 1% chance to hit a 5 cost unit with the gold unit Echo, which we need. So we're still pushing to 8. We're so close. We're at 42 out of 50 experience. You can see that the amount of experience needed to level goes up between levels. So remember when we first started talking about this, we were at 8 out of 10 experience to get to level 5. We're well beyond that now. We've invested a lot of gold in leveling. So whereas maybe some of our opponents have invested gold in units in their temporary board position, we're investing gold in leveling and getting access to more units and access to better units. And we've been lucky that we have not taken too much damage along the way. Often I'll find that I'm in a position where I'm lose streaking for 7, 8, 9 rounds, building my economy, maximizing my lose streak gold, and then all of a sudden I have to turn it around super quickly, right? Because I'm so close to dead. So here's an Echo with a unit we don't want. Or sorry, with an item we don't want. Actually, that item would not be that bad on Echo, because we do have Blade Masters in our comp, and that's a item that basically changes his type or gives him an additional type to be a Blade Master. But instead we're just going to take this Wukong. So this is all completed items here. Sometimes this randomly happens. This carousel has a lot of weird rules to it and exceptions about as to like what kind of stuff it's going to give you. Sometimes it gives you item components, sometimes it gives you full items, sometimes it gives you all the same item, just offensive items, just defensive items. So it's a little hard to plan around the carousel. So we want to, since we got rid of our Graves, we want to give this red buff back to a Blaster. So Lucian is a Blaster and a Cybernetic, so he's going to get the Cybernetic bonus, and he's going to do that same thing that Lucian was, or that Graves was doing, which is spreading that red buff, that burning damage around. All right, so now we are at level 8, and we are going to use the refresh button for the first time this game to start looking for Echo and looking to upgrade our units. So we have 1 Vi, we definitely want to upgrade it, so there's another one. And there's Ezreal. I'm actually going to wait and see if I'm going to win this round before I buy this, because you get 1 gold for winning a round regardless. So I can wait till I go to 53, buy it, stay at 50, and get the 5 gold interest instead of dropping to 49 and only getting 4 gold. Looks like I'm going to win, so I'll buy it now, 49. And you'll see I'm going to go to 50 immediately, and then I'll get paid my interest. So that's just a little micro thing to know about the game, right? But now we're gonna spin. We don't want to go for Ezreal 2 or Ezreal 3. But we're gonna look for Echo. We found him. So now we have 6 cybernetics. So our units are getting massive 800 health and 80 attack damage. So you can see each unit is kind of lit up on the board. That's a cybernetic. So we want to figure out items to give to them. I'm actually going to give this Bloodthirster to Aurelia probably, which leaves me with a static ship to distribute. So Ezreal, I don't want to give him an item because he's actually not a cybernetic. We're just using him to get the chrono bonus and the blaster bonus and nothing else. I'm actually losing. That's okay. We haven't distributed our items. We haven't leveled up some of our champions still. We're going to use these Nico's help that clone champions to do that as we spin down now. Actually, we can wait until the end of this round. But you can see again, here's where some of the randomness is. There's a lot of different units I'm looking to hit. I'm looking for Lucian, I'm looking for Aurelia, I'm looking for Vi, I'm looking for Echo. It's very easy to spend 10, 20 gold, not find what you're looking for. But we know that we want Aurelia, so let's give her another item. So now she has Bloodthirster, So it's going to make her a little tanky. It gives her some magic resistance, it gives her some more damage, and it gives her healing. Good. A spatula is interesting. So spatula does nothing by itself, but it combines with other items to give them a trait. So Echo is actually an infiltrator. At the start of combat, he jumps to the back line. All infiltrators jump to the back line and start attacking. So something interesting that we can do with Aurelia. Since we only have one infiltrator, the 2 infiltrator bonus is that they get 50% attack speed for the first 6 seconds. So what we're actually going to do is use our bow here and make her an infiltrator. So now she's going to jump, and we're turning on this infiltrator bonus. And then we're going to take one of our tanky units, Vi, and give her this item so that she gets the cybernetic bonus. And let's look for some pairs. Let's look for some matching pairs here. We won that one fairly easily. That's great. So eventually we might look to level up to level 9, but right now we're just looking to level up our team. And look at this. 2 Aurelias. Huge. So 2 Aurelias plus the 1 in play, they're going to combine. Our Aurelia gets stronger. Alright. So we only have a 6% shot to hit a gold unit, and that gold unit is not necessarily going to be an Echo. So I think what we're going to do now is probably level to... you know what? It's going to be more fun to spin and kind of make our team a little more powerful, I think. So let's see if we can find more, because we have these 3 wild cards to use. So maybe we can get to Aurelia 3 if we're lucky. I'm going to stop spinning here, because spinning during the round doesn't really do much for you. I can't make my team powerful while combat's going, and I'd rather keep as much gold as I can for the interest. Alright, and look, this person just got knocked out. So we actually have 3 people knocked out that round, or around this round. We're at 40 health. We're doing okay. We're on a 2-win streak. Our team's coming together. Here's another Aurelia. Here's another Aurelia. We need 1 more, and we can go to Aurelia 3. There's an Echo. Nice. Oh, I missed Lucian there. I clicked too fast. You can misclick in this game just like in Magic. So I rolled down all my gold. That's okay. There's the Lucian that I missed. So that will level up next at the end of the round, or at the beginning of the next round. We haven't really talked about what our opponents have been doing other than their economy, because I just kind of wanted to focus on how to play the game. I think you can play this game somewhat successfully as kind of a solitary experience, just looking at your own stuff. But one thing to note is that the units you get offered are not entirely random. They're drawn from a common pool shared by all. All right, I'm going to take this Aurelia if I can get it. So it's drawn from a common pool shared by all the players, just like in Magic, right? Like when you're drafting, someone takes a card you're looking for, you can't get it. So same thing in this game. So if you see someone else who's trying to take Aurelia, it's going to be a lot harder for you to get it, especially if you're trying to get to a Aurelia rank 3 like we're trying to do now. So you can actually click and see what your opponent has. Like, what are they doing? That person looks like they're space pirates. This person is a sniper's comp with Jin and Ash, and then a tanky frontline. There's me, cybernetics. This person is sorcerers. And this person is protectors. So we are the only one in cybernetics, which is why we are having some success getting our units. And you can see our Aurelia jumps over the back line here, and it's just hammering on their 3-star Ash carry, their level 3 Ash carry. All that's left to do is for our team to shoot through their lower damage dealing front line. Oh, that sound means that we're now in the top 4. So if we were playing ranked, we'd be considered a winner. We're going to gain some amount of rating. It's just a matter of how high we finish. All right, so there's Echo. There's Echo 2. And so I'm just going to go ahead and blow these. 1, 2, 3. So like I said, that Aurelia had an item on it from the one we took in the carousel. You can only have 3 items, so this pops off. Totally fine. We didn't want that on her anyways. We wanted the 3 that we made. So I'm going to put this on Leona, which is great because now Leona gets that 6 cybernetic bonus. Like I said, we want to spread the items around. So I have 1, 1, 1, 1, 3. The only person who's not carrying an item is Fiora, one of our starter units, not very powerful. So yeah, like I said, at a higher level play, you do want to take into consideration what your opponents are doing. Because if you end up in a composition that is highly contested, 1, 2, maybe 3 other players all trying to go for it, you're going to have a really hard time building a strong board. And they'll also be competing for the items that you want, right? That's a consideration too. Like this composition, ideally you'd have like 3 or 4 items that use a sword. Sword is already a highly contested piece because it's so flexible. It's a highly contested component, but if you know that like other people are going for cybernetics too, they're going to want them. So maybe you shouldn't be trying to do that build. Maybe you should be looking for something else. So kind of that flexibility that you learn drafting in Magic plays a big role in this game as well. So we could go ahead and put this on. We don't really have a good unit to use this. We can just put this on Fiora so that she can get her item. She'll get her health and damage bonus. Nice for her. We're not playing against anyone who's using Blitzcrank. So this, I was going to talk about one positioning thing, but we're not playing against anyone who's using the unit. But there's this one unit who is kind of like this robot with a kind of like Scorpion from Mortal Kombat at the beginning of a round, like grabs the furthest away champion and pulls it to him. So sometimes you want to like take that into consideration and put a weak unit in the corner so that the Blitzcrank grabs the weak unit and is not grabbing one of your strong units and disabling them at the start of combat. Now, as you can see, we are just kind of like stomping this lobby now. We're 6 wins in a row. We're back on top. Our composition has fully come together. We're just kind of going to bank gold back up to 50, and then look to level to 9. Finish off the composition. Probably by putting like a Thresh or something to take advantage of. If you see, Aurelia actually has 3 types: Cybernetic, which we have 6 of; Blade Master, which we have 3 of. We haven't talked about Blade Master, but that's another thing. So she has a 30% chance that her attacks are going to attack twice, which is great. Here we go. Aurelia is just hammering. Boom, boom. So the jump from 2 to 3, you can look like on her ability, which dashes her around the board. That's why it's so hard to keep her selected. The jump from 2 to 3 on any of these units is like insane. So level 1, it's doing 175% more damage. Level 2, 250. Level 3, 500. So it's like more than doubling. So you can see in the tooltip, it says that when she's using this ability, she's hitting people for 1600. Well, if you look at like say a typical level 2 here, like Ezreal, he's got 1080. Shen, 1260. Right? Lucian, 1901. But he's getting 800 extra health from the cybernetic, right? So that 1600 or however much she was doing, 1684 is like enough to one-shot most units that are not 3 stars also, which is the bulk. It's very hard to get like a lot of 3 stars. So she's just going around one-shotting. We've completely done what we wanted to do with our build. I think the last thing we should talk about before this video ends, because we're winning right now. But if you see how quickly she's dashing around and it looks a little unbalanced, it's because different units use their abilities at different rates. So we didn't really talk about that, unfortunately. That's probably some basic thing that I should have talked about at the beginning. But so that we get a nice little overview here. We got first place, playing some unranked. But yeah, if you just look at the units when you're playing with them, it'll tell you how much mana they start with, how much mana they need to use their ability. So some units have really low mana requirements, like only 40 or 50 mana. I think you get something like 7 or 10 mana every time you auto attack. So units just gain mana over the course of a battle. They also gain mana every time they take a hit. So someone like Aurelia, I think her ability only costs like 40 mana. So she like uses it, hit, uses it, hit, very quick. Especially since we had Chrono there giving her more attack speed. We had Blade Master giving her more attacks, right? Because whenever Blade Master triggers, she's getting another hit in. She's getting more mana. She's running around. So she's a unit that's kind of designed to go off like that. There's other units that say maybe they have a big area of effect stun. They might start with 50 out of 150 mana. It's going to take them longer to get to that first cast of the ability. And then it's going to take them even more longer to get to the second cast of the ability, because after they cast it, they're going to go down to 0 of 150. There are items that give more mana or increase the rate at which you gain mana. So there are definitely compositions that revolve around like making a certain unit cast their spell a lot. So yeah, like I said, we only played one of probably 6 or 7 viable compositions there. Just happened to work out for us. And that's it. Yeah, that's kind of a nice introductory video. I think, post any questions below. Try it out. Play some unranked. It's nice. It's not not nearly as toxic as, like, say, regular League of Legends, because you're not playing on a team with other people. The choices you make aren't impacting their ability to win or lose. Well, actually, I mean, they are, right? Because maybe you're beating them, but people don't seem to take it as personally as when you're on someone's team and they feel like, I'm losing because you are not playing well enough. Well, this is the opposite, right? It's like, I'm losing because you're beating me. And for whatever reason, that's more palatable to people. So yeah, check it out. And I'm going to continue to post ranked matches in Diamond as we try to push our way up. Hope you enjoyed, and see you all later.